Hi, good afternoon, Rockstar Games. This video is honestly going to be it's being directed towards you. First and foremost, I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm Aaron, founder and CEO of X3 AAA Games. That's my working title. Um, it's not not an actual company, but it is an ambitious and motivational thing that's basically designed to help other people, get them to a better place in their life, and it's something I'm real proud of, and it just feels like a milestone. um, but the purpose of this video honestly is to get your attention, because I'm ultimately asking for your help, and not just any help. Financial help. Financial help. I'm in a very tough situation right now that I can't even begin to quantify with words. With my whole family, with my mother. Um, if you're not familiar with me, if you haven't seen my YouTube channel, which is X3 Tube, where I posted it's a whole bunch of different content. If you're fresh to it, it's basically like a whole. It's a whole thing about my story and my journey, and I started creating a blog series. That's basically what this is. I call it Architect of Ambition, and this is just one of those videos in which I just talk about my life and things that have been going on. Ultimately, it's I've turned my what I've done is kind of turned my life into a video game, you could say, because I've got on my channel, and it's, trust me when I tell you, it's very confusing when you go on my channel for the first time and you see all these thousands and thousands, and I mean literally thousands of what I call sit reps, which is short for situation report. It came from a military game that I played before, and they say, and when they say, one of the soldiers would say to the other soldier, use your sit rep. So that's where it comes from. Situation report. And what the situation reports are, just kind of like IRL updates, real time updates, kind of like a GTA meets RDR2 style journal entry about my story, my journey. And Architect of Ambition videos, vlog videos do the same thing. And then I have something else called weekday, these greetings. There's a whole bunch of them. Weekday hey say, weekday highlight, weeknight highlight, weekend greeting, weekend ending, and it's a whole different thing where I'm just posting different updates, different points, and it's just a different way to convey my content, just for me to be distinguished as a content creator. Um, but if you're not familiar with my story, 4 years ago, I had my father, Jerry, pass from a heart attack. It was very sudden. It was very unexpected. It caused a total hellscape in my family. By the way, I'm sitting in my kitchen right now. I'm at my dinner table. That's the sliding door back of me. Let me just say, if you have been through my house from the get-go, it wasn't like how it is right now. But if you took a walk through my house, took a tour of my house, coming in the side entrance where it's the kitchen, you walk in straight. Immediately when you look down to the floor, or not even the floor, to the left, to the door, which is the door that goes down to our basement, you'll see that something's totally wrong. Which is absolutely the case. There's holes, there's damage all over the place in every single room. And where that all comes from is ultimately from my mother, who endured really bad grief. She's still grieving to this day for my father's loss. The day itself was a total shock. I myself actually suffered worse than my mother, yet my mother, her mental acuity, her mental health suffered badly. And when I mean badly, I mean real bad, in a way that I didn't think would happen. I watched my father die. I watched my father die. We have a little breakfast nook that's in this kitchen. It was the 13th of September 2019, of all days, Friday the 13th. I'll never forget it. It was early in the morning. My father's sitting there at the breakfast nook. He's got his laptop open because he always liked to use a laptop. Distinctly, the last thing that he did was pay our mortgage payment, which, by the way, I'll get to that. That's a total wreck right now. Our house is in foreclosure, but I'll get to that. That's the last thing he did. He had a mug of coffee. On that morning, I was going to water some plants. We got some plants in front of our driveway. We have some planter hooks that you put plants on our shed, on our 8x12 shed. I was watering those, and I came back in. Before I came back in, I looked inside the window. I noticed my father like this. Now he looks like he was convulsing, and I couldn't think anything of it. So I walked inside, and it's like fight or flight took over. Sympathetic nervous system controls fight or flight. Gets you nervous. You get your blood pumped up. Gets you ready to take action. There's actually fight or flight. Fight, flight, freeze, and there's another. There's 4 F's of fight or flight. Fight, flight, freeze, and there's a fourth one. I can't remember what that one is. But on that day, I went inside, and it took me. I couldn't process what was happening. I was like, okay, is my dad okay? What's going on? What's going on here? And I get a look at him, and I hear his voice, and it finally. I put 2 and 2 together. Like, my father's having a heart attack. He is actually having a heart attack. There's no way. No. Dad. And that's exactly him. It was automatic. I was paralyzed. It was shock. I was traumatized. My mother saw that. I get her. She's in the bathroom in our first floor guest bathroom. I knock on there and said, "Mom, there's something wrong with Dad. Something wrong with Dad." She comes out. She says, "Jerry!" And then she goes out to the kitchen. Knock on my late neighbor's door. He passed, but Gordon there knocked on Gordon's door. Then she gets calls 911. Says, "Get an ambulance here now. There's something wrong. Husband, he's not breathing." And I scream out. I go out there and say, "Get that damn ambulance here now." And I remember it just like that. I came right back in, and I stayed with my dad, and I watched him die. Okay, it's how real is what's real. I watched him die. I watched him choke on. I saw a piece of his saliva come out. He was choking on his own breath, and it's tough. And I heard his last breath, and he started going into a death rattle. From that point, he couldn't breathe at all. Because when you go into cardiac arrest, you go unconscious. So he was ultimately going unconscious. He knew he was going to do that. So he literally put his 2 hands in front, propped himself up. He knew what was going to happen. Now, mind you, your body's shutting down. You're losing control of everything. You don't know what's going to happen. He prepared himself for that. He went all the way down like this, and that's exactly what happened. He couldn't breathe. And then, as longer that you don't get oxygen to your brain cells literally start dying. Your brain gets fried. And the longer you go you got like 2 minutes to revive someone from something like that. The longer your brain goes without oxygen, you're frying it. So, if someone does survive from a cardiac arrest, the best that they'll be is in a vegetative state. They'll definitely have brain damage. And I didn't know CPR. I didn't have one of those defibrillators. Clear. We didn't have anything like that. So I literally, all I could do was console my dad. And I watched him die. I was right there, and I said, "Can you hear me, buddy? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" Because I wanted to believe he was going to be okay. And as he was going down, I had my hand around his heart, and it was beating real fast. Tachycardia. Tachycardia is a heartbeat that goes from 150 to 200 beats per minute. So the convulsions, why he was doing that was because the pressure was so strong. It was convulsing, and he was shutting down. And he passed peacefully in 4 minutes. I heard the final breath. It hurt. It sucked to hear. We had Ring cameras they're cameras, security cameras that record everything. So it got on the Ring camera. It was on our kitchen, so it was all captured. My mother looked at it. She couldn't believe it. It was awful. Awful. And I prayed up and downstairs, and, I'm praying that my father makes it. My mother did not come home because my aunt's there with her. And he didn't make it. He didn't make it. And I hugged my mother, and I couldn't believe it. I hugged her for dear life. I'm like, my father is gone. I can't believe it. There's no damn way. There's no way. He was only 50. He was only 50 years old. And from there on out, it just, things went downhill. My mother started talking to psychic mediums, right? She started talking to psychic mediums. The worst thing she could have ever freaking done. The worst thing. She believed in these psychic mediums. She started talking with them on Facebook, Reiki Master, getting tarot cards, all these things about freaking spirit orbs, all this damn bullshit. Excuse my language, but it pisses me off when I think about it. So it's real. You're going to respect me because I'm showing you what's real. I'm only going to tell you what's real. So she's talking with all these psychic mediums and stuff like that. And she's just ultimately trying to sustain a spiritual relationship with my dad. And it gets to her head. And my aunt here, who's local to me, my aunt in Massachusetts, my grandmother in Massachusetts, said, don't let it get to your head. And my cousins, everyone on my mother's side of the family, they say, don't let it get to your head. We're worried you're going to commit suicide. And I did too. This damn medium fucked up my mother. Totally fucked her up. Okay? And put all this shit in her head. Okay? And destroyed her. She did these readings with her. Her name's Jill. She's in freaking Florida. Go figure, huh? Florida. And she went to, they started doing readings. My mother paid her $90 to feed her all this crap. My mother started getting into it, and guess what happened? Mental illness. Psychosis. Bad psychosis. I'm talking, there's evil spirits in my house. I'm going to devil-proof the house. I'm going to put a freaking mask over my head and put oven mitts on. And I'm like, what the is going on here? What is going on here? This is not you. This is bullshit. This needs to get taken care of. That's me. Again, there's much more that happened. The police have been called here 44 times. They haven't done a damn thing because they're not going to do a damn thing because in their mind, there's no crime being committed except the only crime, pain and suffering that I went through. Okay? I went through this. I lived in my car for 2021. This was in 2021 was the worst bit when we were still here before my sister got guardianship on the 29th of July, 2021. Because my sister, she lived here. She has special needs. You've seen her before. Maybe you haven't. If you have, she's wonderful. She's got special needs, 2 brain disorders, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Cyst on the ovaries prevents her period from happening. She also got a little bit of bipolar herself, autism, undiagnosed. The most wonderful soul you'd ever did see. She went through that. I went through that. 2021 was the worst before we were up and did our little hotel hopping thing. But that comes along afterwards. After I deal with all the crap I have to deal with my mother. I have to go in our family car. I live in our family car for a few months because my mother has lost it. Okay, I'm talking about walking around nude outside of our driveway, screaming, yelling her head off. Father says this, father says this. And he's out, he's out, everyone's out. And it's all psychotic freaking nonsense. Delusional, it makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. It's confabulation. Confabulation is making up stories in your head and believing it. People with psychosis, okay, delusions, and it can be schizophrenic too, hallucinations, talking voices in the head. Do this, do that. She went through all of that, okay? The worst of it. Prior to July 2021, before my sister and I took care of her for almost 4 years. 4 years total, 2 years in hotels. Across hotels, right? And she, my mother, she lost her mind. She lost her mind. She didn't take care of herself. She stopped eating. She had to get IVs. She was in and out of hospitals beginning in spring 2020. First time the cops show up to my house is 23rd July 2020, 9 in the morning. My mother is out of it. She's taken on this ego, this persona, Rachel the Archangel. Hi, I'm Rachel the Archangel. Hi, hey, and talking like she's a freaking prodigy child. And I'm like, there's something seriously wrong here. I need help. So I reach out to my cousin, my oldest cousin, and I start talking with her on Facebook Messenger and saying, there's a serious problem here. It's giving me a splitting headache. We got to do something. What the hell do I do? And so I got to call the cops. I'm talking the day the cops are here. I'm talking to my aunt. She's great, my aunt Mass. And I'm talking to my grandmother, sitting in my car, our family car, Hyundai Sonata. You've seen it before, haven't? It's all over my YouTube. So I'm looking in there talking to my grandmother. My mother isn't going anywhere. She's all over the place. She's clearly gone psychotic. She's lost her mind. She's lost touch with reality. Cops aren't going to do anything. And guess what happens? A shit show. The cops come every single time, take reports, say, okay, separate. I mean, it'll be fine. You know, there's not so much we can do because they can't do anything because there's no crime committed in their eyes. Guess what happens when I come back in? Whack, 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 bam, bam, bam. I don't even want to scream it because I got PTSD from it. Okay? My mother lost her mind. She lost her mind. So, after my sister gets guardianship, I go take care of her all over the place, hotels and motels. My sister's acting guardian, I meet her guardian. That's when I take my sister a 3-mile walk all the way down because my mother's in here in the freaking bathroom, locked away, doesn't know who the hell she even is. So I'm taking her I said, we got to get out of here. We got to do something. I walk all around. I take her around. It's wonderful. It's a sunny day. It's spring. No, it's summer. It's summer. We're going around neighborhood. People are nice as can be. Get walking around with dogs and stuff like that. And I said, I'm spending some time with my sister. And it was the most wonderful thing. And it was a start that I could ever do for her. And I did that. On the day of my guardianship meeting, because I had a hearing, a telephonic hearing, takes 10 minutes for the judge to rule because my mother doesn't contest it. Attorneys do their thing. Attorney representing the organization that my mother worked for. It was a caregiver agency because she was my sister's caregiver. She couldn't take care of herself. I took over that job. So that organization gets a lawyer. They get a lawyer. Office of the Public Guardian sends out a petition, and that's how the court case comes to be. It's the judge, the attorney does a great job explaining the case. Judge rules in 10 minutes. Guardianship. Get a guardian as soon as possible. We do that. My sister's resource coordinator, Caitlin, gives me a smile when we're doing the telephonic hearing. It's like, oh wow, I can't believe how quick a hearing's gone like that. From that point forward, hotel hopping. We're in hotels, motels, all over the place. It's nuts. It's crazy. We're checking in one afternoon, checking out the next morning. We're staying as much as 1 day, 3 days a week. Hotels, motels. Some of them are totally awful. Some of them are well appointed. They're good. They're fine. I worry about my sister because she has very bad yelling and scream. She yells and screams. She has very severe intellectual disability. PCOS. It makes her very aggressive. She gets excitable. She gets all over the place. She pinches. She gets aggressive. So the first hotels, motels we're staying at, she's all good. Nothing happens. She's good. The next hotel we stay at is a Best Western for 2 years. From there, the crap starts to hit the fan. Every single month, my sister is all over the place, yelling, screaming, trying to gorge my eyes out, putting me in headlocks, yelling, screaming, 8 hours at a time. I mean, yelling, screaming, 8 hours at a time. There is nothing I can do. And hope that no one's going to register a complaint. We only got 3 complaints in that hotel. God bless everyone at that facility for their patience and how wonderful they were. Dibby and Zeno. They're Indian. They're great. They're absolutely great. And Dibby was a total sweetheart. Having said that, and Yao Maintenance Man, he's from South Vietnam. He was awesome. Total character. Hilarious. He did breakfast there. And everything else, groundskeeping, yard work, plumbing, everything. So they do all that. So we stay there. I got respite care providers coming in. All the 3 rooms we stay, 117, 119, 157. 157 is close to the laundry room. So we have laundry. Laundry can be done easily for my sister because she's incontinent. She has problems wetting the bed, stuff like that. That happens many times. Housekeepers do their thing, they understand. And also, Zeno, the general manager, wanted to put us away from guests because my sister gets really excitable. So that's why we went to 157, which is away from all the guests. That happens until the 2nd of March 2023 when we have my sister moves into home care. Her resource coordinator, Caitlin, gets together with all these potential providers saying, okay, can you do this? Are you a good fit? They went to Vermont. They went to different areas in my state. She went to Maine before. They, they didn't fit. They weren't a good fit. From that point forward, we find a wonderful provider named Dave and Joanne. They are absolutely wonderful. Meet them the first time, yep, they're perfect. They're the ones. Joanne's got beautiful blue eyes. She's very classy, dresses classy. Dave reminds me of my father. And Alyssa, my sister, loves him. So we start off slow. A few hours, they go over to visit her house, so she gets acclimated with everything there. They got 2 cats. Fortunately, we thought there was going to be a group home, but it was just Joanne, Dave, and 2 cats, 2 adult cats. And then it turns into overnight, and my sister starts leaving me for a while, and I get sad because I miss her because I've been around her 24/7. I start to get used to it slowly. And then we say, okay, my resource coordinator says, we're waiting for the stay, paperwork, everything like that. That takes forever, naturally. And then finally, she's ready to move in. When she moves in, it's she loves it. And then I stay in a hotel, the same room, 157 for 3 months. I live off 10 grand. Somehow I do it. I love it. It's peace. I can finally get a breather. I can finally get my bearings. I slept in, all that. I had no car. By the way, cars, we had a family car. It was repoed on June 30th, 2022. We had a truck that was towed, a 2005 Jeep Liberty 3.7 liter. That was bought by someone who screwed me over. Paid $1,800 for it. A whole bunch of problems. TAC doesn't work. Tachometer, the speedo doesn't work. Speedometer doesn't work. It's missing a transmission module. It's got road rash. Tires and brakes don't seem to work because it seems like they're not bled properly. So when I take it home and test drive it, Caitlin doesn't let me test drive it. So I test drive it cold because she wanted to get us in a car for my sister's transportation. So, because my sister had goals, part of my job when I took care of my sister was caregiver and a whole bunch of paperwork at the end of the month. What I had to do was write up meet a whole bunch of goals, do some progress notes that states, okay, how's her incontinence, how's her behavior, everything like that. And she needed transportation. So, Caitlin, a resource coordinator, says, I'm going to give you a few options. You choose which one. I had to choose a car. So I chose a car, take a risk. I took a big risk. We had that Jeep for 3 months. I'm pulled over about a mile and a half away from the hotel, and the Jeep's towed. And an officer very generously gives me a ride home. I had to leave a whole bunch of crap in there. The thing was a piece of junk anyway. Got over 180,000 miles, or 160, 170,000 miles. Still worked, but it was a nice car, older, but had a whole bunch of problems with it. So we lost our car. So when I was in the hotel, I basically relied on DoorDash, and I got comfortable. Had Mickey D's, BK delivered. I got deliveries. And it's not healthy. I had BK and Mickey D's every day. It's not good, not good at all. You cut to 21st of May, 2023. My mother wants me coming home. She has a guy, Gerard. He is a homeless guy. They meet her at my mother's shelter, homeless shelter, and she volunteers with them at. They go to church. It seems like they're all fine, good. He's my mother's transportation. He was my transportation when my mother and my sister had her visits, watch visits, basically, because you never know what could happen because of my mother's mental state. She wasn't good. So Gerard would drive them all around, drove us all around. And then it got to the point where about a month before, somewhere weeks before I'd come back home, Gerard said, you gotta get out. Gerard said, I've been there because he's had a lot happen. He had his mother die when he was 17 years old. I don't want to say too much, but he's had a hard life. And my mother says, you gotta get out. I want you home. I want you home. God, by the way, she's all about God, Jesus, to a T. Very eccentric. It's an obsession. OCD. She's got OCD, PTSD, type 1 bipolar, suffers from panic anxiety attacks. depression, diagnosed, official. So that's why she's so obsessed with God and Jesus and all that. One time I go with my mother, Mickey D's, or we go out for a ride. I said, "Oh, that's good, because I haven't been out in a while." The second time, Gerard, my mother, come up and say, "Okay, let's go to Mickey D's. Don't worry about anything. Just come out." So I come out. I'm dead tired, blah, 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 talking all over the place. We go to Mickey D's, and my mother floats the idea, "Why don't you come home? What do you think about coming home?" I said, "All right. You know what? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Seems like you've changed. Seems like you're good." So I take the bait. I go home. Guess what happens? The shit hits the fan. She's no better. There's damage all over the house. For 6 months, almost 7 months, I deal with her bipolar, getting yelled and screamed in my face, cops being called over and over, nothing being done because they can't do anything, her raging, confusion all over the place, getting cussing at God, saying, "Fuck you, God, fuck you," and all that, and cussing out the medium because she's obviously going through grief, pissed off at her, excuse my language, upset with the medium because she caused all this. She gets to a point, the switch flips. She's got type 1 bipolar is the worst, severe, okay? The switch flips, up, down, up, down. Bipolar is manic, depressive. Manic is agitation, aggression, rage. Unrecognized trait of bipolar is rage. It is bad rage. It is untamed. It is destructive. I have seen it all. Depressive, sad. Very, very sad, upset, emotion, depressed. And they say that in the spring and summer, manic episodes can be worse. And then in this fall and winter, depressive episodes of bipolar can be worse. Because it's the holidays, holiday blues, depressed. The holidays do things to mental health. So that in turn makes sense. So I basically stay here for 6 months. It's the fan. Gerard, the homeless guy, he has nowhere to stay, so he stays here in our backyard in a tent. My mother's totally fine with it, so I think at first. But her bipolar gets in the way. "Oh, he's the devil. Gerard," and she's talking all totally nuts, okay? Absolutely crazy, making no sense what you say. And she's talking to me saying, "Do you believe in your father? You support your father." Excuse me. I can't even talk like her. And by the way, I'm used to really hidden running around with a chicken with my head cut off. Whew. Sorry about that. I'm used to that. So she's yelling and screaming at me all the time. Sorry you had to hear that. It's crazy. I'm telling her this all the time. Okay? She's all over the place. I can't control her. Someone with bipolar, you got to validate what they say. Someone with mental illness, you got to validate what they say. If you don't, they'll flip out. Someone with bipolar, you can't say, "Are you taking medication?" No, you're bipolar, because it's going to stoke the flames. It's going to exacerbate the feelings they're already having and make them emotional and aggressive. Make it worse. So you have no choice but to listen to them, speak in a very neutral, calm voice. Say, "I understand what you're saying. It's going to be okay. You're going to get out of this." And they do get out of it, but they go in, out, in, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's what bipolar is. And type 1 is the worst, and my mother was diagnosed with that about 4 or 5 months ago. She is taking medication. It's a substitute for Seroquel, which is an antipsychotic. She took 100 milligrams. Their therapist recommended it was 50-50 in the morning, at night. The therapist says cut it down to 25 in the morning, take the 50 at night. So during the day, you can have energy and do what you got to do. Therefore, the 50 at night hits her harder, and it does, but sometimes it doesn't always work. She's also doing therapy, but she lies about the therapy, saying, "I'm good, I work out." She doesn't do that. One thing about people with type 1 bipolar, they are prone to lying. They will confabulate, they will make up stories, and they don't even know if they're making up if they believe in those stories or not. My mother has lied to me so many freaking times. It is unbelievable how effortlessly she's lied to me. It's sad. It's very, very sad. Because without my dad, she has no one to sit there, no one in this house. So this house becomes her punching bag. No one can tell her what to do. She's a child of God, okay? She talks about scripture. There are 19 crosses in this first floor, okay? I think I'm making my point. 19 crosses. She has a love-hate relationship with God and Jesus. There are Bibles all over the place. She goes to churches, prayers. I've learned a lot about scripture. It's great, you know. I've learned a lot. I love to learn new things. I'm very philosophical. But she has been able to control herself every single month. I've counted over 12 episodes, okay? Episodes could be with an outburst or without an outburst. They could be silent, where she'll say, and do all those things like that. And then she'll hallucinate. My father had an ex-girlfriend. She seems to be a trigger. My mother will talk about her. She'll literally talk to herself. She'll run all over the place, stomp around, bang around. She's destroyed so much in this house. I'd gladly show you, okay? And by the way, I got a little case right here because I'm trying to get her guardianship. This right here is basically what all that's for. Foundation, a little bit. I'll get to that. But she, in one instance, and I've caught her many, many times, and she does not like to get caught. She'll get pissed off, you know, because she's got a problem. And medication, okay, the medications, I'm not satisfied with the results. She needs a guardian. Bottom line. She needs a guardian. So one of the instances, I listened to her, she's saying, she was talking about my father's ex-girlfriend, calling her a whore and slut and everything like that. It's just words. It's just words. It's real life, you know. And she says, I want to meet her tonight. And she's saying my father is an archangel in heaven, okay, that is dating someone, or an archangel is having sex. My father is having sex with an archangel. Do you see what I mean? Total mental illness, psychosis, and there's many times when she's done that, and it hasn't been pretty. It's been very disturbing. I've recorded it before. I recorded a video before that you'll see just recently where my mother has an outburst in the master bedroom, which would be my parents' bedroom. I'm in my bedroom, sitting in my chair there, called my thinking chair because it looks like that from Blue's Clues, but it's where I reflect and where I do my thing. Not always, but when I can sit down when I'm done what I got to do here, you know, because I take care of this house, so it doesn't get destroyed more than it already has been. So I'm listening to my mother and I'm recording this, and she is yelling, screaming, rage, full on rage. She comes in. Fortunately, she doesn't suspect anything. I act like I'm scrolling on my phone, but I'm recording her. You know, I'm recording her portrait style, so phone's like this, a long way. And I'm just recording her, and she's saying all this crap about someone at her current job, which, by the way, she's been fired from her last 8 of her 9 jobs. She's doing good with this job right now. She's a dining server. She makes over, it's bi-weekly, so she makes about $1,000 or a little bit more every 2 weeks. She just got paid. You know, she's getting money in the house and all that. But I'm listening to her, and this is just crazy. It's crazy what's coming out of her. It's clear psychosis. It's bad rage. She can't control it. She hides it from everyone deliberately. I'm the only one who knows about it. Everyone else kind of just makes excuses for it. I've even talked to people online about it. And, you know, honestly, they're nice, but they're freaking making excuses. They're saying, why don't you work on yourself, as opposed to, it seems like you talk about this too much. Well, guess what? You don't understand. I'm around this person 24/7. I am the plaintiff and the witness in this case. If I ever do get her in front of a judge, you know, and a freaking attorney, which they suck to get a hold of, you know, because they don't want to freaking do their job. You know, they want to take up a guardianship case. So that's what all this right here is. My little case, my little case that I have. Sorry about that. Hope this is still recording. And you know, so she needs a guardian. She needs a guardian. So I've been trying to call law firm. They cold call offices. They don't want to help. They're saying, oh, outside our priorities, we're too busy, my caseload's too busy, call pro bono. Pro bono is basically free service, lawyers that give you legal advice for free. You got to have something, when you call a lawyer, you hire a lawyer, you got to pay a retainer fee. Basically, it's a ridiculous expense. where you pay, let's see, 1,200, maybe more, thousands of bucks, for services rendered by the lawyer. It's a down payment, just like a car down. It's like a down payment for a car, 1,000, 2 grand, whatever. It all lawyers and legal counselors are different. So I tried calling them a bunch of times. They didn't want to help. Seems like they don't believe in guardianship here in my little city. And then I tried calling the bar association. What's the bar association? They basically lawyers, people go to law school, take a bar exam to practice law. Bar association. So that's who I called. So basically, it's a collaboration of lawyers. They're supposed to help people and give legal advice. I left a 14-minute message on my bar association's line, and they didn't get back to me. I bawled my eyes out saying, I've got a huge problem. I just want to freaking kill myself here. It's so miserable dealing with someone with type 1 bipolar, mental illness, that doesn't get it, needs a guardian, needs help. I need to get this done now. No one calls me back. No one. And it upsets me so much. So, Rockstar Games, if you're still with me, I'm asking for your help. There's a few things I want to get accomplished. I've actually, well, first, you say I've helped out with GTA 6 since 2016 when Kirsty and the crew there on Grand Theft Auto Forums started doing the section with GTA 6. I brainstormed, I thought of ideas, poetry, writings, write-ups, concepts, everything like that, and I started on GTA Forums and I wanted to help you guys out. Then I took that to different touch points. Discord, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook. And by the way, I've also helped your colleague Leslie Benzies out with his everywhere, which is really cool. And he's an awesome guy. You can tell. I'm happy to help him too. But I'm happy to help you guys too. With GTA 6 and your big thing and what you got next on the pipeline. So I've done that for a very, very long time. I've done that for actually 7 years, 2016 to 2023. So I'm asking you guys for a big, big favor, help, and that's financial help. To get my mother a guardian, to pay off my house. I'm about 25. The mortgage, my mother, we can't pay it right now. It's 25 grand. Over debt, in debt, you can't make a payment until the loan's brought current. The house is in foreclosure right now. We got a lawyer that's trying to do a 25 grand grant to take away the debt, put the loan back, put the mortgage back in play so payments can be made. But my mother needs guardianship. There's no doubt about it. But I don't want to deal with lawyers and all that. I want to get that done. I want to get her to court. But again, that's easier said than done. Something else I want to do, pay the house off. I want to get my mother guardian, get her an assisted living, live in this house, and fix it up. Live here, fix it up. What my dad wanted to do, pay off this house so me and my sister could live here. Obviously, my sister's not here anymore. She's on home care. Been there for 7 months, loves it. By the way, I'm going to be seeing her next Wednesday. It's going to be awesome. She's going to love it. So that help, I have that. And then I guess the third thing that I'm asking for financial aid for help, is to help me get myself off to the next step. Obviously I need transportation, I need wheels, I need help. So here's the thing. What I'd like to have happen is to get paid. In my YouTube videos, I made the proposal of anywhere between $6 million to $6 billion. And I know that's a lot. Trust me. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you to give me money. I'm asking for help. And most help that people need is financial help. I think I've earned this. Why do I think I've earned this? For all I've done with GTA 6, everything in between, my backstory, what's gone on. And I think it'd be an incredible miracle. Because I play lottery too. I'm trying to win the lottery. Mega Millions, Powerball, Lucky for Life. You get $1,000 a day 25 grand for the year for the rest of your life. Smaller lottery, I play that. I admit I have a gambling addiction, but I do control it. I know what I'm doing. It doesn't excuse it, but I know, it's a shitty situation. I'm trying to get myself out of it. So I said, hey, I play the lottery. Maybe I can win. I almost won June Powerball. I was bawling my eyes out. I couldn't believe it. I almost won Powerball, and my dad loved to play Powerball. So it's another thing. That's what I'm asking from you. 3 options. Number 1, you could pay me $500 a day, and that money could come from Grand Theft Auto Online. It's very profitable. It's going to keep going on. And by the way, congratulations with that. Second thing would be I'd ask for $6 million total. And then thirdly, or if not 6 million, 6 million, if not 6 million, 6 million. And I'm hoping you guys can contact me, and we can discuss that. I can furnish my contact number for you. It would be a mobile line, of course, and I just need to get this done. Time is of the essence. My mother's going. She's at church right now. She'll be home probably like 5 or 6. She had work today. Sometimes she works every other weekend, so 6 to 2. So she got out of work just recently. It's almost 3 now, so she'll be home later tonight. Had to get this video out. I hope it all recorded. And I hope you guys take this into consideration, and please help me. I'm wearing this little shirt right here. It's kind of cool, It's kind of cool. I'm wearing that as I've done this in this video. I'm hoping you guys can help out. I will be so grateful beyond words if you can help me out and get me out of this shitty situation. I will be so grateful. I wouldn't be able to quantify it. I want to thank you so very much for watching this video. I've been a GTA fan since 03. I'm not trying to feed you a sympathy story, but it has been incredible. GTA has been a part of my life. My childhood, this is when my father was here. I'm looking forward to GTA 6 and all that, and what else you guys have coming. You're all, you're incredible. You guys do great work. You're really ambitious. You can tell you guys care about each other and all your divisions, and you're very well respected in the industry. I want to say, again, this is to Sam Hauser, any other colleague, the heads of Rockstar, the New York division, because that's where you guys are located. Again, I've done all I could. I have. I've given all I have. To almost quote Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2. Made sacrifices. Take care of my sister, help my mother out, tried to get myself, and I wanted to commit suicide so many times. Just kill myself. I'll never do that. No worries, I'll never do that. But it has sucked. And I believe you guys can come in, step in, and be the miracle workers. And you know what? I believe that's going to happen.